my favorite place once again. Trust me, my favorite background. You remember this? Right, we're at Shangri-La. So good morning, DBS family. How are you guys doing? We're not going to waste any time. We know what we need to do, so let's go on over to the news desk and see what's going on there first.
Good morning. Former Castries Central MP Sarah Flood Bobra has expressed concern that the country is fast becoming a dictatorship. The former MP spoke against the backdrop of House Speaker Claudius Francis's announcement that he is considering discontinuing live broadcast of parliamentary sessions. He's expected to make an official ruling on the issue this Friday when the House reconvenes.
In essence, he wants the cameras off in the House so he can do what he has to do, so that the public doesn't see what he has to do. And any other reason he gives, I don't believe it, because he himself asked them to turn it off so he can do what he has to do.
Flood Bobra was speaking during an appearance on DBS's Newsmaker Live program this past Wednesday. Prime Minister Philip Pierre announced the successful acquisition of a US $6 million loan from the African Export-Import Bank of Frexim Bank. The money will be used for the reconstruction of schools damaged by Tropical Storm Brett in June of this year. Following this catastrophe, St. Lucia experienced island-wide damage with the greatest impact occurring in the south of the island. 21 schools and facilities were reportedly damaged.
Well, it's a $6 million loan from the African Export-Import Bank. We have 7 years to repay. Each year is 6%, and there's a possibility of extension of that loan. The loan is only for school buildings, and basically it was the school buildings that were damaged by Tropical Storm Brett. As you know, Tropical Storm Brett created extensive damage to some of our schools. We have since repaired or continued to repair the school in Vieux-Fort. The recreational facility in Vieux-Fort, the roof was damaged also. So that money is going to be spent to repair schools. I think some 10 schools are going to be repaired. The Enchipo Secondary School, there's a block that has not been in use for several years. These things didn't happen today. That is going to be repaired. So it's an investment in the educational facilities in the country, and I'm sure teachers and students are going to be very happy about it. But this is going to be the beginning of our engagement with the African Export-Import Bank. You know, it's a new financial institution that St. Lucia joined last year. St. Lucia together with some other countries in CARICOM.
In December of last year, the board of directors of Frexim Bank approved $1.5 billion in funding for CARICOM member states. This agreement allows St. Lucia to tap into the bank's financial instruments, facilitating the US $6 million loan. Now, as the island gears up for Black Friday sales, the Consumer Affairs Department has issued a warning to both consumers and businesses to engage in best practices that would assure not only value for money, but that consumers' rights are also protected.
We know during this season we have Black Friday, we have Christmas coming. So what we want to do, we want to encourage consumers to we know there's a shopping craze when around this season. So we want to encourage consumers to be very careful, have a shopping list, have a budget, inspect your goods, examine and shop, because we know that persons will be buying a lot of electronics, so we want to ensure that persons inspect and examine their items to make sure that it's working properly before you leave the store.
Consumers are being encouraged to read all contracts before signing and to learn more about their rights under the Consumer Protection Act. In other news, the Ministry of Equity, Social Justice and Empowerment launched a sidewalk chalk activity at the Grosley Primary, the Vieux-Fort Primary and Beanfield Secondary Schools, all as part of activities to mark International Children's Day. The Division of Human Services spearheaded the activity.
The reason why we decided to have this particular activity is to give the children an opportunity to demonstrate their thoughts and feelings in relation to some of the rights that they are afforded under the Convention of the Rights of the Children.
The Community Services Unit also held an island-wide self-awareness day for children participating in the community after-school program. These are your top stories. Thanks for watching. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you again, Kendall. Awesome job as always. Let's take a break and come right back. teacher, we went up to the South of Lewis Community College and we sat down with the Modern Languages Department. They have got a number of plans for their students, and we wanted to help them to assist in achieving that goal. So take a listen, and then at the end of it, you're going to decide whether or not you can make some sort of contribution towards realizing that dream. We're here at the South of Lewis Community College. We're here with SocaCize, who is, give me your title again.
Sure, no problem. I am a lecturer of Hispanic literature and Spanish language here at the college.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, there's a reason why we decided to have that chat with you. My son brought me a little letter and I thought, oh, all right, this is interesting. But certainly some assistance is needed, and maybe if we get the word out,
Yes.
more than likely we can get some sort of positive feedback.
Of course.
But first, let's talk about the languages department. What have you been up to? What is, what are some of the highlights of that department? What would you like
Okay.
persons to know about the language
All right.
department?
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. We appreciate getting that information out there. We have a very active, very vibrant modern language learning unit at the South Lewis Community College. We offer Spanish language, French language, of course. We do have the English courses that are fundamental for a number of the programs at the college. We do also offer Mandarin. A lot of people don't know that. Yes, we do have a course in Mandarin. There's beginner's Mandarin. There are 2 levels. And Creole.
Oh, yes, I was waiting.
Yeah, of course.
I was waiting
of
to hear
course.
if we have Creole. And I said, not
Absolutely.
to knock it, but I would have said, where is the
I was
Creole?
saving the best for last. A little
Okay,
bias
awesome.
much.
That is
yes.
amazing.
So we do
That
have
is
a
amazing.
beginner's Creole course, levels 1 and 2 as well.
Wow, okay,
Yes,
now-
so there's a lot going on at the
Right,
moment.
now I want to pry a little bit in terms
Please.
of the interest.
Yes.
Where do you find most of the interest? Mandarin, or is it Creole? Is it Spanish? Is
Well,
it-
that's an interesting question. Well, it really depends on the group that's coming in and their purpose and so. So, of course, there are different target groups. We find that a lot of the adults seem to gravitate towards the Mandarin and Creole courses
Right.
for functioning, whether it is they want to go on to study in Taiwan, whatever the case may be, or just for everyday interaction, in the country. And as a St. Lucian, just embracing your language, improving and, reaching that level of competence. In terms of the French and Spanish, we see a similar pattern over the years. Those courses are actually compulsory depending on the program, like I mentioned earlier. So the students who do the associate degree, they do have the option of selecting French or Spanish. So we do have very large groups at the elementary levels.
Right. Is your courses open to, you mentioned adults. So
Yes.
I am out there, I am in the media, I want to
Yes.
learn a modern language.
You
or
should.
I could sign up for this course.
Actually, we do have standalone courses. So a
Okay.
standalone course would imply just that the individual is interested in majoring or specializing in one particular course or language, and we can accommodate them accordingly.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that's great. Now we got inside. So let's talk about why it is we really here in the first place.
Yes.
Your department normally do is it
There are trips.
trips?
Yes. Yes,
With
we
the
do.
students, so you
Yes.
give them that opportunity. Let's talk about what's coming up and how we can assist.
Yes, please. Yes, please. How can you assist? We would love that. So, what's coming up regarding those trips? Well, I must say that these are trips that are staple parts of the modern language program. So, we have the Margarita trip, and that's scheduled from February 13th to 18th. So, about 6 days in Isla de Margarita. The students get an opportunity to immerse in an authentic situation, real life situations. And this year, actually, we have an inaugural group of nurses. For the first time ever, we've opened the opportunity up to our nursing students.
Wow.
So there's actually going to be a focus on medical content because we understand how they interact with the Spanish speaking world when they get out there in their profession, whether it's at OKU or they go on to study in Cuba. But we really thought that we wanted the nurses to be out there in the health centers and the hospitals and the other medical institutions in Isla de Margarita during that time.
Wow.
Yes.
This is huge.
Absolutely. And for our French trip, we have the French students. They're actually level 2 or year 2 students of the CAPE program.
Right.
And it's a small group of students who are majoring in the French language, and they're headed to Guadeloupe in March. And an amazing experience that they're going to have because Guadeloupe houses, I'm not sure how many people are even aware of this in the region, houses the largest slave museum in the region. And the students will get an opportunity to experience that, as well as the Université d'Antilles over there as well, and have some very authentic exchanges. But their period is in March as well. So in March, we have the Guadeloupe trip. In February, just before that, we have the Margarita trip. So we're traveling. COVID over.
Yes, it is.
COVID over,
And,
so we go on,
this
we
is
traveling.
wonderful. I mean, what better way than to, if you're going to impart that sort of knowledge and experience, to have them within the setting itself.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. Now,
Yes.
let's talk about where it is, because you have to fund some of that.
Yes,
Right. So let's
yes.
talk about how it is now. John Public can step in and help you to foot some of this bill, because it's not going to be a cheap thing,
That's correct. That's correct. And in the context of our economy, I mean, need I even say more?
Yeah.
Things
are difficult, yeah.
They are difficult, and a trip, one would see a trip as something of a luxury at this point, something that's not a priority at this stage. We do, and again, because we see the need and we see the importance of this sort of authentic experience, we want as many students as possible to access it. So
Right.
how can John Public assist? Well, the students will actually be seeking some sort of support through sponsorship. The college has supported us, of course. They're all on board, always are, in terms of those ventures and initiatives out there for the students to fundraise, whether it's through their little raffling exercises or seeking through actual sponsorship letters. So you will see them out there with their letters and the little documents with the school's official logo, of course, seeking that sort of support.
If we don't get a letter, somebody
Yes.
might be viewing right now and
Yes.
want to assist. How can they?
That's a great question. They can contact the college, and through the college, a deposit can be made. We can arrange with our accounts department and our bursa, and the person can say very clearly that they're making a contribution towards this cause. They would like to help the students of the South Louis with their trips, and those funds can be designated for that purpose.
Wonderful. Sounds exciting. And
Yes,
sounds great.
it
I hope
is.
as many students as possible. I hope we answer the call and
Absolutely.
At least,
And maybe
a
one
number.
day you can come.
I wanna.
You should. You should.
will.
You should.
I know you rolled off some things on your tongue a while ago. You major in Spanish, right?
Spanish.
Oh God, give it to me again. Listen, it's just so beautiful. Like,
Bueno, voy a decir unas cosititas. Entonces puedo decir buenos días a todo el mundo y gracias por la oportunidad de compartir esta información con el público sobre los viajes que estamos planificando aquí en el colegio. Y bueno, gracias por todo, sí.
I have no idea what you just said, but it's just so
Somebody out
attractive.
there
They will. This is just so attractive. This is sexy. I mean,
I'm telling you.
it's a sexy language.
Well,
I need to
one
come
more
learn
reason
something.
to do it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much,
Yes,
and thank
absolutely.
you for the great job
Thank
you guys
you.
have been doing.
Thank you so much for having us
Wonderful.
this morning.
Wonderful.
Lovely. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, well, you know what they say. We have a certain culture amongst us that we like to wait until people have gone. People who have made remarkable contribution to our existence in one way or the other. We like sometimes to wait until they are gone, and then we start pouring all of the accolades and all of the praises and all of the... Well, thankfully, for this gentleman right here, who the Caribbean is no strange person to the Caribbean, his contribution is far, it's wide, and heavy in a lot of areas. We knew of him when we were little children in school growing up. So he has been around contributing to the sporting arena and so much more, for quite some years. And it is just really, really lovely to see that he was recognized by at least one college. Joseph Reds Pereira is now Dr. Joseph Reds Pereira. Well, I'm here and I'm looking, I have got the actual official document, the original, in my hands. And I'm sitting here with Joseph Reds Pereira. That is a name that has been with me from childhood, even before I knew the man. We in school and we had to know who was this and that, and you have to remember this name was quite distinct, and we always remember having to repeat Joseph Reds Pereira, that particular name.
I think it was a question for exam somebody told
Yes,
me. Yeah.
it used to be all the time. It was an all the time thing.
There were shorter questions.
Joseph Reds, how are you? You have grown, and over the years, you have grown to be more than just someone that I had to know to remember for an exam. I actually had the privilege of meeting you And then we got to where we actually shared Media House. You had a program on.
Yes,
and you used to bring me my flowers every morning, and I thought, what a gentleman.
I'm still picking flowers, but the
Oh.
sun is a little harsh.
Yeah, it is.
But I enjoyed my time when I did the sport at RCI because we used the telephone
Yes.
effectively and we brought
A lot of
voices, a lot of
together.
voices.
Yes, absolutely. We are here because obviously you have been recognized by the University of Guyana. I think it's long overdue, but I'm going to commend them for doing so. And I think the rest of the region, I'll put that out, I think the rest of the Caribbean and the rest of the region should follow suit because you have made such a contribution to the world, the arena of sports, not just as a commentator, but Reds, you have been a champion in terms of opening up conversations that leads to why it is that we should be taking this in more serious, how it is that sports can diversify and redirect our youth, how you have channeled and continue to challenge such conversations to date. And I think, it's taking persons a long time to really grasp the full concept, but
Well, you know, don't hold your breath that, there's a cue to be calling me. Very humble, very grateful to University of Guyana. I was very surprised about 4 Wednesdays ago. I got up at 5:30, had a cup of coffee just to check the emails, and there is UG writing to me, offering me a doctorate, and I was stunned because,
why though?
well, nobody starts off life by saying, I hope I get honored. You
Right.
do your life, your life work, your job of work, and you make sure that you do it well, and that you are successful, and that you have served whoever you're working for. And it's not about self, it's about getting the success. And once you have the success of seeing something really happen, where you're making an impact on the lives of young people, the spectators are turning up, and the press is interested, that to me is the important thing. Not looking for awards from day one of your start.
Okay, wonderful. Now, let's dial back down a bit. You're originally Guyanese. You were born Guyanese.
Yes,
Is it?
I was born
But
in.
you've been in St. Lucia like mostly all your life.
I came to St. Lucia in 1984, October. And it all happened very suddenly. I was going to the Olympic Games in LA in '84, and I was working in Barbados, television and radio, doing a lot of cricket with the late Tony Cozier. And the telephone rang, and I picked it up, and the gentleman introduced himself as Dr. Vaughan Lewis.
Oh,
And I said, yes, I know of the organization, sir. And he said, well, look, we are planning to have a meeting in Montserrat, and we want to start a sports desk. And you are 4 or 5 persons, I think, was asked if they're interested. But if somebody is asking you, are you interested? You don't have 15 minutes to ask questions. You say yes or no. And I remember, a long time ago, a famous test cricketer saying, there's life after cricket. And I figure, well, there's life after commentary. And luckily, Dr. Vaughan Lewis allowed me to continue the commentary whilst I executed the OECS sports desk. And it worked very, very nicely for both of us. And I must say that he gave me a free hand. He wasn't looking over my shoulder. He said, look, you're here to do a job, go ahead and do your job.
And the rest is history.
Well,
The rest is certainly history.
Hopefully.
Now, Reds, we do not have a lot of time. I'm just sitting here and I'm just hoping or waiting, or maybe I might just have to take up the mantle and do it. Somebody needs to do a complete documentary on your stint in this as well. I know you don't like the fanfare of the thing all, but it's not about the fanfare. It's about documenting a genius like yourself, because that's exactly what you are. You are a genius who championed this thing from the heart, but you made some very, very significant impact
Well,
on this arena.
It will
moving.
take a producer
Yeah.
to have that kind of interest, you know. But whether that will happen, and it is not a low-cost production, because it will mean that you have to travel, you have to tie into the budget of doing any kind of a documentary, not only in me and anyone, a fair amount of travel, getting people who knew you when you were young, and you know what kind of person.
You know what would be even more sad? If they wait until after to try to do all of this. So you now are still here. So I would say,
Yes.
why not get it done now? And I'm not making an excuse for that.
Well,
it has to be done, and somebody should, somebody should take it up and get it done. Now I know you don't start off like you said. This was truly passion, and you were driven by that, and you did what you had to do. But and a recognition like this must feel good.
Humble, yeah. I mean, I was really touched and humble, because I mean, as you probably will know and remember, I had a major stammering problem, right, which affected my education. But I had a mother who believed in fantasy, and I would lie in bed and do imaginary cricket commentaries and boxing for Mother Square Garden. She was a great lady, and I managed to slowly but surely found a way of curing the stammering.
Right, and become a commentator. One of the best, I might add.
But it's because of people giving you opportunities. Nobody does anything by themselves, if they want to be honest. It's people, Caribbean Broadcasting Union. I mean, Hervin Henry, when I came here, he used me, from day one. And, the various stations and Caribbean Broadcasting Union, I'm very happy about the opportunities.
Right. Well, we may not. Well, we're gonna, like you said, we're gonna hold our breath to see if somebody is going to be smart enough to take on that responsibility of doing that documentary before you leave us. But
I'm not planning to.
I know. Listen. I'm right there with you. I agree totally. But you know what? At some point, we all have to go down that route. So
right.
it is what it is. You do have the platform with us on the DBS This Morning Show. If there's anything you want to leave with our viewers, feel free.
Well, I am still trying to be active. I've been concerned for a long time about the weakness of the club structure. A team or teams don't make a strong association. But if you have a simple constitution, that you have a non-playing executive, that's going to make you a strong club. It's going to make you a successful club, and you will help to make a strong association. Strong associations make a strong National Olympic Committee, the effective use of facilities, the effective use of sponsorship, and the effective use of human capital.
Wonderful. Ladies, gentlemen, viewers, Mr. or Dr. Joseph Resper.
I got accustomed.
You got to get used to it.
Well, one person, my neighbor, Leslie Clark,
Yes.
called me Dr. J. Well, that was a compliment, because Dr. J was a great basketball player.
Okay.
It might end up being Dr. Reds.
Dr. Reds, why not? Certainly. The next time you see him, be sure to put some handles to his name. Please and thanks. Thank you, Reds.
Thanks for
Congratulations
inviting me,
again.
and continue to do what you do well.
Thank you very much.
It's time to rise, shine, and wine with SocaCize. Leading the wine, we have Serena, Vernell, and Shani. Let's get ready to sweat with SocaCize. Get ready to flaunt with one of your favorites from the road for Cardio Soca Jam.
Girl, what you have there? Girl, my tailor. Oh, Lord. Girl, my tailor. This one is for the road. Girl, my tailor. What? Girl, my tailor. True load in the place. Girl, I wine them.
3, 2, 1, and
hello, Miss Grippy, Grippy. Come wine for the dippy, dippy. Miss Grippy, Grippy. Miss Grippy, Grippy. Hello, Miss Grippy, Grippy.
3.
Come bubble and city, city.
We're gonna hop forward and back.
Miss Grippy, Grippy. Behind the truck, girl, my tailor. grippy, come wine for the tippy tippy. Miss Grippy Grippy, Miss Grippy Grippy. Hello, Miss Grippy Grippy, come bubble and city city. Miss Grippy Grippy, Miss Grippy Grippy. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Mateda.
Twist, son.
Miss Grippy, from you know yourself, gal. Get ready to bend. Get ready to bend, gal. Miss Grippy, set up yourself, gal. Set up yourself.
3, 2,
get ready to bend. Bend over.
Drop it. And
hello, Miss Grippy Grippy, come on for the tippy tippy. Miss Grippy Grippy, Miss Grippy Grippy. Hello, Miss Grippy Grippy, come bubble and city city. Miss Grippy Grippy, Miss Grippy Grippy. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Behind the truck, Mateda. Mateda.
twist, son.
Miss Grippy, I heard you got the sticky. I need some of that quickly, but don't give me no hickey.
Bend it. Drop, drop. Bend. Drop. Cross. And
hello, Miss Grippy Grippy, come wine for the tippy tippy. Miss Grippy Grippy, Miss Grippy Grippy. Hello, Miss Grippy Grippy, come bubble and city city. Miss Grippy Grippy.
Yes.
that was this morning's session. We hope you are feeling sexy, sultry, and strong. Thank you for choosing to flaunt with SocaCize on This Morning on DBS.
Okay, well, it is the weekend, so enjoy your weekend, whatever it is you're going to be doing over the weekend. Be safe, be responsible. If you can't, be kind, be quiet. And let's do this again on Monday. Join us right back here for another DBS This Morning.